Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with 05 Killer by Clover. So it's almost normal Sudoku rules, except instead of 1 to 6, we're placing 1 to 5 and leaving one of the cells blank. So in every row, every column, and every 2 by 3 box, we're placing the digits 1 to 5 so that each one still only contains 1 to 5 exactly once, and then one of the cells will end up blank. Blank cells never touch each other. So if this was a blank cell and this was a blank cell, that would break the rules. They don't touch even diagonally. So we can't have blanks like that or like that or like that. So if this cell ends up blank, maybe I'll use gray for that, then none of these cells around it are blank. Okay. Additionally, digits and cages sum to the total on top left. So these two sum to 4. These two sum to 1. How does that work? Well, blank cells count as 0. So blank cells don't count towards the sum. And that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. I'm actually going to use 0 for blank, and I think that's fine, because if you think about it, if every row, so let's talk about rows first. If every row has 1 to 5 and can't repeat the 1 or 5, then every row is going to have a blank, right? So the blanks are going to be 1 each in each row. Same with columns. Every column is going to have a single blank in it because we can't repeat the 1 to 5. So one of them will be blank, and every box will have a blank in it. Well, if that's true, then the blanks basically follow Sudoku rules, in addition to the anti-king. So, in addition to the no touchy rule, right? So I'm just going to use 0, and it's just going to act like a digit. So in this case, this 1 cage is going to have a 0, 1 in it. Now there's a cool kind of property of the no touch rule, which is kind of this formation here, where we know the 0 is going to end up here or here. Well, if the 0 ends up in one of these two cells, it can't be in one of these two or one of these two. Maybe I will color code in, I'll put in green any cell that definitely is not a 0 so that we can follow the no touch rule, because these can't be 0, because if I try to put a 0 here, it takes 0 out of both of these cells. We know one of them's a 0, right? No matter where this 0 ends up, it actually does, they overlap in seeing these two cells and these two cells. So we're not allowed to put 0 in any of those. The 2 is similar here. We can't add to 2 without using the 0, because we can't do 1 plus 1. That would repeat 1 in the column. So this is a 0, 2. So we can actually just mark all of these as no zeros. And then the other thing is, okay, so the 3 and the 4, right? So if the 3 doesn't have a 0 in it, it has to be 1 plus 2. And if the 4 doesn't have a 0 in it, it has to be 1 plus 3. All right. Now, these do form X-wings. There's an X-wing on 1s here, and there's an X-wing on 2s here. I think the easiest way to think about it is, what would happen if I tried to put a 2 in this 7 cage? If I tried to put a 2 here, this would be 0, this would be 1, and then these would both be 2, right? We need 2 2s. In this sort of 2 by 2 area, we need 2 2s. They'll end up like this or like this. So there's no way we're putting more 2s around here. So no 2 in this 7 cage means it's not 2 5. And similarly, there's 2 1s in this 2 by 2 area, so none of these are 1s. So that's an X-wing also, because it forms an X, right? There's a 1 here and here, or there's a 1 here and here. So these aren't 1 either. Well, if we can't have a 1 or a 2 in the 7 cage, then it has to be 3 plus 4. We're definitely not doing 0 plus 7. That 3-4 pair affects this cell here. That ends up a 1. That resolves all of this. Now that this is a 0, we can green everything around it. We can also finish this 4 and 3. This is now green, so that's not a 0. That's 2. That's 0. Let's green around the 2 before we forget. That's 1 and that's 2. All right, cool. We're finding our blanks. Oh yeah, 9. I was thinking we could be 3 6 or 4 5, but there's no 6 in the puzzle, so we can actually fill 4 5 here, putting 3 6 over here. No, sorry, not 6, 3 0 over here. So this is the 0 and this is the 3. So around this 0, we can't put another 0. We also can't repeat in the rows or columns, so let's do that. Nothing in the box either. Okay, so one of these is 0. All right, I bet there's just Sudoku to do at this point, because we basically finished the cages. Oh yeah, how about these two digits? These two digits are fillable. This is a 5, this is a 2. That means there's a 2 and a 5 up here, 2 5 pair. That leaves 0 and what's the missing digit? 0 and 4 here. So if the 0's over here, it's not here, right? Not here, it's not here. So this is our 0 for this box, leaving a 2 or 5. This is the 5. This is the 2 and the 5. This is a pair. It's the 1, 3. And this is a pair. It's the 2, 4. This 2 tells us the order. That's 4 and 2. This is 1 or 3, but it's not the 3. So that's the 1. That's the 3. That's the 1. Down here, we need 3, 4, 5. Okay. Up here, we need... I was trying to think how these zeros resolve, but it must be through the digits. Because there's nothing touching it. Okay, anyway, what do we need here? We need 2, 4, 5. So the 2 in this column only goes here. And then this is not a 5. So this is the 4. This is the 5. Gives us the 0, 4. This is our last 0. Okay, might as well green these. And now that they're zeros, let's make them blank. We found where all the zeros go, so let's just leave them blank. And then here we need the 5 for the row. That's 4 and 5. That's 3 and 4. Up here we need the 1 and the 3 that go like that, and we're done. There we go. Cool. Even the solution check even worked. I totally left them blank the whole time, Clover. I didn't use zeros. What are you talking about? Anyway, this was a fun puzzle. I enjoyed that. I liked that you had to make that... I mean, it wasn't that hard of a deduction. But you had to make that initial deduction that it was safe to treat blanks as if it were any other digit. But then there was also the anti-king on it. And I think it helped me a lot to color the cells that couldn't be 0. Because I just could immediately recognize when I could eliminate zeros based on that. You also had to recognize this sort of pattern where no matter where the blank ended up in one of these two, it couldn't be here as well. So that was important too. Very neat puzzle, Clover. Took some interesting logic. Hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.